Hello, everybody. Welcome back to This Deluxe Life TV. My name is T.
And my name is Kareem.
And we are here to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 11. But before we get into it, I'm going to have Kareem tell you a little bit about his channel.
My channel is All The Way Live Media, where I share all types of cool content from sports to video games to my various collections and hobbies. So come on over. It's a good time.
It's a good time. So let's get into it. But before we do, shout out to all of our new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining our channel. We really appreciate the love.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody that's also been leaving comments. We appreciate that as well. We definitely want to hear from you. So continue to do that. As we did last week, we decided to just start sharing the highlights and in some cases the lowlights, as you all know. And that gives us an opportunity to focus more on the juicier parts that everybody wants to talk about.
So what do you want to talk about first?
I want to get into it. I want to start with Katina and Olajuwon. I have to get some things off of my chest.
Okay.
Isaac. Actually, I'm not even going to address this towards Isaac. Katina, run, girl. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say run. I really, really, really do not like what we've been seeing from Isaac, aka Olajuwon, as the way he's been treating Katina, and I really didn't appreciate it in this episode. And here's why. She has been working her little heart out to prove her value to him as a wife. And really her value to him, not to prove that they belong together, not to prove that they can work together, because he doesn't seem to be offering literally anything at all, to the relationship or to her. And so she's been trying to prove her value as a wife because she really wants his yes on decision day, as if that's going to validate her in some way. And it's coming across as desperation. And I don't know if that's what it is, because Katina is a beautiful girl. I definitely think she's very committed to this process, which of course she should be. It's a serious thing. You did get married to somebody. I could see that you want to be diligent in, seeing that it works. But when that means that you have to sacrifice who you are as a person, and when that means that you have to take the type of verbal and emotional abuse that she's taking from him, that's where I'm like, hold on, we got to draw the line here. Yeah. This is not cool.
Yeah, you should never put someone's happiness before your own, and it seems like to an extent, she's doing that. There have been instances where, she's kind of fought back, but she shouldn't have to be fighting. Like, it shouldn't be about fighting.
And it's always a fight.
But she seems like, it really does seem like Olajuwon's constantly saying, you have to prove yourself to me. You have to prove yourself to be on my level. I want to see you as a wife and blah, blah, blah. She's not making any of these similar demands.
Exactly. Like, well, where are you as a husband?
He doesn't feel obligated to show that.
Not at all.
That's what's going to happen when people, are going into a marital situation expecting to, number one, do whatever it takes to please the other person, and another person is just going to keep taking. Mm-hmm. So she's giving and giving and giving. And we saw, like, even in this episode, she did a lot of little things she took charge of the romantic day for their 1 month anniversary, right? She did that. So everything that was nice about him, everything that he was emotional about, talking about how he was feeling her, and so on, she took charge of that. She did it. So at the end of the day, by the end of the episode, here my man go again, smacking her down. Right. And in the most embarrassing way.
Right. And but even before we get there, so she had, at the top of the episode, she had the conversation with one of her girlfriends, and, she was talking about they've gotten over their rough patch. Things seem to be going well. He's a soft place for her. He protects her. He makes her feel safe. And I'm like, girl, where? When did this happen? Yeah. Did we not see this? What is going on?
The possibility exists that there are things that are happening, of course, that we don't see. And, that's cool. But what's going on to the camera, what's translating to the camera, is emotional abuse.
Absolutely, in every single way. It's like gaslighting extraordinaire, and she's taking it, and it saddens me because Katina, you can tell, just has a good open heart. Like she really wants this to be something with this person that she was matched with. And I honestly can't even figure out like why they were matched. Like what's so similar about them? Where do they complement each other? I have no idea.
Yeah, and I think this was one of those cases where the matchmakers, they really kind of put two people together that don't belong together.
And they really fell for the okie doke when it came to Olajuwon. I remember...
I fell for that too.
So I was going to say, I remember in the very beginning, I don't remember I think it was the matchmaking episode where Olajuwon was talking about what he wanted to do and what he wanted to give and what he wanted to be. And we didn't really know anything about him outside of that at that point. And I remember you making the comment of, these people sure they really do know how to sell themselves. You know what I mean? And not like you didn't use those words, but you were saying like essentially they know what to say for the cameras or to the experts to make it at least seem like they're really in it for the right reasons. And, at that time, it was a little bit of a questioning tone in your comment because we had seen other, seasons of Married at First Sight that people like come in and all, gangbusters, and then we found out who they really are. So it wasn't like, you were just saying, I'm on Olajuwon's side.
No,
but not then. No. Right. But he did really, really, really come across like he was in it for the right reason. He was tearing up and, all those kinds of things. And, we were like, wow, okay, maybe this going to be something. And then we started learning more about him. And then that's what turned me off.
Yeah, a lot of people was turned off, but I felt like he's just misunderstood. And, it's that part of me that feels like it's easy for complex people to be misunderstood. Mm-hmm. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt of being a complex person, but he's not. He's very simple and very simple-minded. Mm-hmm. Homeboy wants somebody that is completely subservient to him for whatever reason, and he's willing to pretty much take a stranger and break that person down to build them back up. And we talked about that before. That's kind of pimpish. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And
the thing about that is he really enjoys that lording over someone because even though he essentially already had her where he wanted her, okay, she was already doing the things for him, all of those things, but he took that opportunity to now make her feel once again that she's not doing enough, even though she was doing all the things that he said that he wanted. And so it's clear that it's not about whether or not she's doing the things. It's about the control that he exerts over her. That's the part that he enjoys.
So what did he do? Let's talk about what actually happened.
So he went through her phone, which he definitely should not have done. She gave him she handed him her unlocked phone because he asked for it in the van. And he took that opportunity to immediately start looking through her phone. For what purpose, other than let me see what she's doing. And really, I feel like that's projecting because you only do that when you feel like you're doing something or somebody's giving you reason to distrust
Which she hasn't done.
And she has not done that. So that means, since she hasn't done that, then that means that you're projecting. So you're probably doing something stupid. And so he finds an app on her phone, and rather than asking her about it then, or asking her about it before they go into the restaurant, or asking her about it at home, he chooses to wait until she talks about he's now being calm, Olajuwon. We're getting along so much better. I'm really feeling happy. And he's just like,
yeah,
nope, not me.
Yeah, they show his face when she starts to say that. And you could tell, like, at that point, he decided to choose violence. Like, it was like, okay, here it go. Now it's time to pounce because she's up. So now it's time to knock her down.
Smack her back down.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when homie came through with the wow. Well, I saw something, that makes me think that this relationship isn't, whatever. This relationship is no good.
So we have chemistry, but is it wife chemistry? Is it marriage chemistry? Or is it friend chemistry? And she's like, what? Like
She
he
was blindsided.
literally, totally blindsided. Like they literally just left their apartment. She's all sitting on his lap. He's kissing her shoulder. She's like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what everybody talking about. What the tea
is." And in context, this is when they pretty much go out to meet with the other couple.
Right.
We didn't bring that part up, of assuming that not everybody is. Knows exactly what moment we talking about. But they're going out to meet with the other couples, and the other couples are going around the table talking about how they're talking about their experiences. They are bringing up that there have been issues, but they're not exactly going through those issues. They're not bringing those issues to the table. They're just, letting them know and commiserating essentially with the other couples that, okay, there have been some issues, but we're working through them, and we see through the other couples, all of them, even Mark and Lindsay, that there is some sort of spark there. But then you get to Olajuwon and Katina at some point, and it's like Olajuwon, not even from the beginning, at the very moment where it's time for Katina to go, he's waiting because he's deciding that, okay, she feels good. Mm-hmm. She feels good about us. She's getting some certainty here. I'm not ready for her to have any confidence or certainty. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pick a fight.
Yep, essentially. And the thing about it is, this wasn't something that was just stewing, because like I know, if you are somebody, if you are angry about something, you're not going to be like, he, I'm mad. You know what I mean? Like they literally left the van. He knew that wasn't nothing to have no drama about. You know what I mean? Like I said, unless you projecting your feelings onto somebody else, it's not all what was cracked up to be. And he didn't even give her opportunity when they did finally go and talk about it to even share her thoughts on the situation.
But still, it's more at the table. More is happening at the table. Like, so much happens at the table. He basically says, I saw something, that made me pretty much feel some type of way, right? So she's like, what? Huh? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. And everybody else is like, oh, because you see a lot of head turning and stuff like that. And, they get to going back and forth, and Olajuwon's pretty much threatening to air it out. But I'm going to keep it real with you. If he had aired it out, everybody in that table, I think even Lindsay, who herself is a bit of a ditz, would have been like, what? That?
Probably not. Because here you got Lindsay not even knowing what the situation talk about. You in love with this B, and she does, she called her a B twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he said nothing about that. Meanwhile, episodes before, they go on their honeymoon, and he's like, Katina's a ride or die. She stands up for me. That just really shows what type of person she is. So what does that say about you? You have somebody that supposedly you had beef with, and then we find out they really don't have beef no more, because they hang out on the rooftops together. Like they're buddies.
So I'm gonna say this. I think that the general feeling about Lindsay and the B word was that she didn't mean it disrespectfully.
No, she did.
I don't think so.
She did.
I don't think Lindsay was taking a shot at...
She was.
Okay.
She was.
Well, yeah, we could definitely go back and forth. She did, she didn't. But
I mean, first of all, that's somebody that you don't get along with well.
But they've been doing better these last few episodes, though.
So why would you just out your mouth just start calling her profanity?
Because she was calling her...
She called her the word.
Okay. But I'm... All right. I mean, she did. I feel like Lindsay was still out of line. Because she seemed like he's trying to take Olajuwon's side on the matter.
You can do that without calling Katina names.
I think she should have really said, I think she should have took the side of the couple at that point and just be like, hey, I think the general consensus should have been amongst the other couples that, hey, do y'all need a minute?
I mean, it seemed like that's what Jasmina and Noi were both saying. This sounds like a private conversation.
Yeah, Jasmina and Noi were trying to be the voices of reason. Steve and Michael and I don't think Mark really had anything to say. And then Lindsay, obviously, I feel like she wanted to make herself, she saw an opportunity to get attention. Mm-hmm. And, she starts commenting instead of just commenting on the situation, the situation that she knows nothing about instead of the situation that's right in front of them, and is that these people are clearly having some trouble. Do y'all need a minute? That's what I would have said. That's exactly what I would have said verbatim. Hey, do y'all need a minute? Do y'all want to step aside? Do y'all want us to step aside? Do y'all need the room? You know, and we can go about our business, because I don't want to be a part of this argument. Lindsay was trying to make herself a part of the argument, and she don't know what it is. But and I think if Elijah Wan would have announced what he saw, he knows he would have looked like a damn fool.
Well, I mean, who knows? You know, but regardless, like we said, the way he went about it was terrible, and he did that intentionally to smack Katina down when he knew that she was feeling good about their relationship, because he don't want that. You know, he wants to keep her on pins and needles.
Yeah, because as soon as he said it, as soon as she says something, or as soon as he had opportunity to speak, it got to the point was, I don't know, I'm unsure. He didn't even say, this not working. That uncertainty is actually the key. Right. Leave her in limbo. Leave her not knowing where she stands. Right. Because if you let her think that she don't have a chance, she might give up.
But you don't want her to give up, because he liked the benefits of her trying.
Because he'll keep trying. And if she keeps trying through uncertainty, then when it comes to decision day, he pretty much has all the power. You know what I mean? I really do hope she figures it out. We have seen some information to suggest that they do stay together beyond decision day. I don't know. This brother would have to have made. Well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't make a 180-degree turnaround. Maybe he just, his plan worked. Yeah. And his, I love you not. So
let's move on to them at home. So, because we've been a long time on the dinner piece. So at home, he asked her, let me see your phone. She was like, here, why? Why do you have this app? And she's like, this is old, this is years old. And he's not trying to hear it. She's like, I don't even have a profile. He's not trying to hear it, because according to him, if she was on his level and doing the things that he would do, that he allegedly has done, she would have deleted all that stuff off of her phone prior to being on the show. For me personally, if this is not something that I've even used in years, that I don't even have a profile, what impetus would I have to think about it and go through my phone to find it, to delete it? I wasn't thinking about it before. Why am I thinking about it now?
I'm going to keep it 100% real with you. I've been an Android user for over the past 10 or 12 years, right? Pretty much since Android came out. I have apps that have transferred from phone to phone.
Yes, all of us.
For the last decade and a half.
All of us.
Since the late 2000s, I've had apps. I have not touched those apps. I do not. Every time I glance through my phone and look at them, I'm like, goodness gracious, that app is still there.
When we bought my iPhone last and they transferred my stuff over, the man said he's never seen that many pages of apps. Like, he literally was just like, I've never seen that many apps on a phone before.
Now let's apply that logic. Let's apply that logic to this situation. Right. Y'all are married, but y'all not married.
But even if they married.
But in this conversation, right? You even say yourself that, y'all been together for a month. That means 31 days ago, she was not married to you. That means that, she hasn't had any opportunity or chances to really even consider, number one, deleting apps. That expectation wasn't set between the two of y'all. So if you deleted apps, that's something that you did on your own.
And that's the whole thing. That's what he said. This is what I did. If she was serious, she would have done the same thing. It's always, she's not on my level. She's not on my level. She's not reaching my level. And that's what this was coming back to.
You and me have been together for almost 14 years, right?
13.
2009. Late 2009. So whatever. You and me have been together. If I saw, now I'm not going to snoop. I trust you. I don't need to have any any kind of reason to snoop. I don't even understand this culture of going through each other's phone.
Either.
You can go through my phone at any point if you choose to. I don't care. I'm gonna just be like.
I mean, you already know the password to my phone.
Yeah. So. I mean, you know the password to mine. It's
what?
Okay. I mean, do I need to say it?
You don't need to say it. I'm just saying, do I? Like, I wouldn't even know that I know it. Because I don't go in your phone for anything.
You don't. Like, anytime you go on my phone, I unlock it for you. I don't really care. But that's the point. That's not beside the point. Now, I'm keeping it real with you. If at any point today I saw a dating app on your phone, I'm going to be like,
what's that?
Is this a 12-year-old, a 13, 14-year-old app? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have, but if it's 30 months or 30 days into us knowing each other, maybe even like a couple, just us dating that or knowing each other, that early stages of dating where we start to say, hey, I'm feeling you too. Let's make this a permanent thing. Okay, cool. And it's a month in. I'm gonna think you just, it's just the app on your phone.
It's just the app.
Like, unless you on there talking about, I'm married, but I'm single.
And like, that's the thing. Like, I don't have a problem with him saying, hey, I noticed this app on your phone. I don't like that. Can you delete it?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with you approaching somebody respectfully.
Right. Listen, when I joined this experiment, honey, I took all of that off of my phone. Okay, it's something that it's old, you haven't thought about it in years. I believe that. Can you just delete it though? Because we're focused on us now. Yeah. Like that's the end of the conversation. But you don't make her, you hear what she has to say, and then like you're not acting like you don't believe her. But you're basically now questioning her commitment to the process because she didn't think about it before she met you. Like you thought about it before you met her. Like this is some BS.
I mean, he really is treating her like she's actively searching for like a side piece.
No, but he's not, because he's not saying that she's doing anything.
You're right.
What he's treating her like is that she's not on his level.
But he's treating her the way somebody would treat somebody that they discovered was going out searching for,
because he's like, because you a stranger and I'm pouring my heart into a stranger. Like, you not. Sir, if this is you pouring your heart, take that little sit back. Don't nobody want that little swallow. But I mean, that's the type of thing that Della Reese would get her pinky toe shot off of, because that's a swallow in the container. You know what I mean?
Those are two different scenes in the movie.
It doesn't matter. They got mad over the swallow. So.
But he's not even pouring his heart out. That's the thing.
He's not.
We have not seen a whole lot of much about Olajuwon actually treating Katina well. I mean, we've seen niceties between them. Mm-hmm. We've seen flirtation. We've seen romance. We've seen, that kind of stuff. But we haven't seen Olajuwon be like, Katina, I'm going to prove to you that I'm the man for you. I feel like these things should go both ways. But apparently in Olajuwon and Katina's relationship, it goes one way.
Yeah.
So
that's enough of them, because they raising my blood pressure, and I'm not for that.
Yeah, they both frustrate me, because I don't understand how she can't see it. But
I'm hoping that her eyes are now open.
By the end of the show, actually, there was a whole, F this, I mean,
well, she didn't curse.
No, but she was like, we done filming because the real Katina about to come out. Yada yada. She was kind of fed up with it, and that was just at the end of the episode. We don't know what next episode is going to hold, so.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Noi and Steve. Noi and Steve. So they had a very cute anniversary. They did the boat ride. They gave each other really cute gifts. Steve gave Noi the leopard print kind of shirt, and one for sushi, and he said he ordered one for himself so they could take a family picture. She gave him the other kind of Polaroid camera that he was looking at so that he didn't have to decide between the two. They had really nice conversation and all that. They had themselves a romantic night. They both seemed to be feeling each other. And Steve, did prior to that have the conversation with his brother about, like, what can I do to, make marriage better? It was kind of a brief conversation. He was catching him up on the things that had transpired before about Noi getting mad about the noodles and, all that kind of stuff that we already know about. And Noi also talked with one of her friends about the job situation because that came up again. And she's saying, I love him, but, is love everything? And so fast forward to them, having their 1 month anniversary. Is cute. It's nice. They're kikiing. And Steve asked her, so what would it take for the next month to go really well for you? And she said, for us to have a productive conversation about our finances. And he was like, well, I've been trying to have that conversation.
You're not. You have not. Bro, you have not.
With bass in his voice too. I was like, take that bass out your voice because you ain't trying.
That was cap, Steve. Like, you really have not been trying to have that conversation. You've been trying to convince her to go along with your roundabout response to the situation.
He's been trying to convince her that they don't need to have that conversation.
He's been trying to convince her that he's better off not having the actual plan or sharing whatever his plan is, which to this point we have to assume doesn't exist. He's been trying to convince her that, hey, everything's going great. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. That's his whole thing. And
he's like, have you been financially impacted? Y'all are living in free housing.
There's no financial
impact. Have separate bills and everything. So what are you talking about, Steve? You're not making sense.
And I think in his mind, things should be okay with maybe he has, some income. Maybe he got some income coming in from his freelance work, and that should be enough to add
but is he even doing any? Like, we haven't seen him doing any freelance work.
It may not be the case now because obviously they're filming, and I mean, he could be everybody else is working. Everybody else is working except for Mark. But
he even shared with his brother, he started picking up his own the cooking and the cleaning. He was like, is this just my life now? And it's like, sir, you decided for that to be your life. I mean, what you gonna do? Do nothing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be different if y'all were both working and Noi wasn't helping cook or clean. But you home and you're chilling and she's working. So yeah, you should be doing the things around the house.
And I do think she works from home, right?
At least we saw her work from home. I don't know if she does permanently.
Yeah, so I think that might be another thing where he might see her working from home, just like Olajuwon knows that Katina's work from home. Mm-hmm. So they think that people just got all day to be at home cooking and cleaning while they're supposed to be working. But no, it's not like that.
It's not like that.
And Steve, you don't want to work and you want her to be okay with working. My thing that I was saying before was I think he wants her to be okay with him bringing in, I guess enough. A meager income, like, mm-hmm. What I'm saying, to add to her, whatever her income is, so she's not technically financially impacted. Mm-hmm. Hypothetically speaking, she makes $70K a year. I don't know. Of course, we don't know what she does. Hypothetically speaking, she makes $70K a year, and her lifestyle is good for $70K. House good, car good, pets, food, blah. She can eat. So all Steve probably thinks he needs to do, and this is a guess, but I think it's a really good guess, that he needs to come in. Okay, well, I just need to make $10,000-$15,000 a year. That because all I gotta do is just come in and eat. She had the bills paid without me. She had the car note paid without me. I got my own car, so I could pay for that. With work a couple jobs, get $1,000, $100 here and there, and boom, she's not financially impacted.
And here's the thing, he knows that she wants to have children. He says he does too. He knows that she wants to purchase a family home. All of those things. She's been very transparent with what she wants, to be able to cover with those expenses, with the income coming in. And so it's not like she just but no, because you got to work, because everybody works. She like, but we actually want things and want to do things, and like those things cost money, and I don't want to be the only one doing it.
And people come together to make life better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just talking about money. You don't want to go into another person's life and then just hang on to them.
Right.
And you don't want that person to feel like you're just hanging on.
And, and I think all of this could be alleviated. I've said it before, is if he does have a plan, if he would actually share the plan. It doesn't seem like he has, because otherwise she wouldn't be keep asking the same questions over and over again. She is trying to productively have this conversation, but he doesn't want to. And also gaslighting when it comes to that, saying, but I'm trying to have that conversation.
That's so God.
And, and Noy was just like, okay. I think like she just like really just like didn't want to ruin the evening. Like, like let's not do this right now. It's our 1 month anniversary, but Noy's not going to be with the shits for too long. You know what I mean?
She's not just going to take it. I don't think so. I honestly think Noy is just going to be like, you know what? I'm going to hit out.
She's been very transparent about what she wants, why she wants it, her background, her expectations, all of those things. And Steve is just meeting her with a dumb...
Yeah, we think that she's meek in a way, but I think...
I don't think she's meek. I think she's very direct.
She kind of comes off meek to me.
Really?
Yeah, but I feel like that's just like that's the on the surface. I think under the surface she is very direct, and
she's shared all the things that she has said all the things.
Yeah, she's honest. But we don't see it. Like, I guess you just kind of look at it as maybe it's just me. I look at it as, on the surface, Noy is, cool on the surface, but she's, she's ready to at least say what she got to say. Because I've been calling her passive aggressive for the last couple of weeks. Which, some of the things like that, getting up and walking out without saying the word, that was passive aggressive. But, whatever. Yeah, but Steve, I feel like the best thing you can do right now, and if you want to make this work, is give her some assurances and, let her know what can actually happen with your freelance work. That's legitimate work. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're ashamed of that in some way, if you want to keep that quiet.
This is what it is. I've said it before. Steve does not want to be accountable to anyone.
Of course.
And so he doesn't want to share the details, because that means that when he's not doing it, because sometimes he don't want to, she can't say, but you were supposed to be doing blah blah, because if he doesn't tell her that, then she won't know.
Of course he doesn't want to be accountable to anybody.
That's what it's about.
But I'm thinking, like, why is he keeping everything
so that he doesn't have to be accountable? That is the whole why.
So yeah, he at the end of the day, he's just hanging on to her. And it's
not cool.
It's not cool because she's not getting good vibes from it. So.
Exactly. If she was cool with it, then we'd be cool with it. But she's not cool. So Steve, you have work to do. So let's move on to Lindsay and Mark. So Lindsay and Mark, we find out that Mark has been told not to return to work until after filming. Don't know what that's about or why that's about. Maybe his filming schedule is impacting his work day or whatever. Who knows? But, he did his dash cam and was saying, I got to go tell Lindsay. Meanwhile, he goes and he does that. And Lindsay is like, okay, so, you need to take this time to think about what you really want to do. And Mark, I understand where he's coming from. Is like, I need to work.
I need to find work.
I need to work. And she's like, well, I just want you, when are you ever going to have this opportunity again to take time for yourself? And I just really want you to take time and think about what you want to do. And, honestly, in some scenarios, for some couples, that would be a decent way to approach things. However, Mark has shared, and he shared with her in that moment, kudos to him, his life has so much upheaval right now with the transition of the, house situation, coming together with a stranger, getting married, filming. Now there's work changes, and his mom is still not well, and his grandmom is not well. Like all of these things, he's saying, I need the stability of work. I need this thing that I can control. I need that so that I can feel stable and comfortable.
Yeah, also, I feel like he need to work because if he's not working, Lindsay gonna throw that up in his face.
Yes.
Like, she is cool because she's trying. I think it's an honest effort to do it, but her motives are not the same.
Right.
Number one, she's there talking about, she's in a confessional. She's like, she feels like he's not trying to build a relationship with her.
She said that to him. He said he's telling her, I need to work, blah blah blah, and she's like, well, what I need to figure this out. And she was like, well, you need to figure out me, and he's like, yes, but I also need to work. She was like, what I'm hearing you say is that you're not important. This marriage doesn't matter, and she's like going on and on. And like, we both were looking at the TV like, no, that's not what he said.
He's not saying that.
That's not what he said.
He wants to work. He wants the stability of employment. He also is like, he's a self-reliant person.
Yes.
He had a life before you, Lindsay. Now we do know that you probably make a lot more money than him.
Who knows? She probably made $10,000 more than him, and for her, that's everything.
Well, she's a nurse. I think.
No, she's trained as a nurse. It doesn't seem like she works as a nurse. She does administrative stuff.
Okay, so Lindsay, Mark is a self-sustaining person. He's a full-grown adult. At this point, he's trying to really. He's basically just been laid off, essentially, right? He's trying to get back to normalcy and maintain normalcy in his own life. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to have extra time to be with you. More likely he will. Most people that want to get back to work, they do take finding a job like a full-time job. I get that. I've been there, you've been there, and so on and so forth. But a full-time job isn't, in that regard, still not going to be, 40 hours a week putting in applications. He's going to have time to spend with you, more time to be with you, especially when you're not working yourself.
But regardless,
she's doing what Lindsay does, and that's making herself the center of the issue.
Right.
How does your issue affect me? Okay, well, hey, you can give me more attention. Mark was like, I could, but I got to get my life together. He's got a whole lot going on, and including this marriage. And I feel like deep down inside, he knows, because apparently she's complained to him, but she says she doesn't like his income. So I feel like deep down inside, he knows that if he is not working in the marriage where she is, it's going to get thrown up in his face.
Absolutely.
And he's like, I'm not going to put myself through that.
And rightly so. So somehow they get on past that, and Mark decides that he's going to make things wonderful for her for their 1 month anniversary. He meets up with Chris. Shout out to Chris. Chris, you were looking great. You seem relaxed, rested. Chris
looked good. Like he looked like he lost a little weight. Like, bro,
like in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, looked like he lost about 130 pounds. Good job, Chris. What's your secret, buddy?
What's your secret? This is my decision day. So shout out to Chris. And so they go to like this kind of plant emporium, my kind of place. They said it's Lindsay's kind of place. Okay, we have that in common. And, Chris is helping him to pick out, plants and crystals and things like that. Very Lindsay type of things, very thoughtful things. So Chris sets Mark on the right path with the gift. Mark is all down for it, and he had rented like kind of a glamping kind of campground for them to spend the day. I don't know if they spent the night there. I imagine so.
If they get internet out there, I would probably do something like that.
There's no internet. They said there was no Wi-Fi, none of that.
No cell signal, no nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm good. I gotta put my earphones in when I go to sleep.
Download something to your phone just like you do when you're on a plane.
Well, that's true.
See there?
Jeez.
So anyway,
that's why that's why I love you, because you're just so smart and clever.
So they get there. They're having a good time. They're discussing kind of their relationship. They went through their little gift basket that Married at First Sight gave all of the couples, their vows and all of that. And, they watched their ceremony back. And Mark was getting emotional. And he was sharing that, it was really nice seeing Lindsay so happy and, kind of without a care in the world. And like she has shared some of her background with him and issues with her mom, etc. And, he just really feels like he wants to protect her and make her feel safe and, all of this. And I thought that was really nice. It was a moment. I was also disappointed that Lindsay didn't seem to reciprocate the feelings in the way that Mark was giving it. Not that she wasn't did she need to start crying or whatever? No, but she did allow him to kind of just take the blame for the things that happened in their relationship so far that weren't ideal, Yeah. She didn't talk about anything that she could do better or that she, wants to do. I think she feels like the things that she's done for him, helping him clean out his apartment and that type of stuff is that's me stepping up, and now you have to earn me. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea of somebody should earn you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that on its face. However, when one person is the only person in the relationship, just like with Katina and Olajuwon, that seems to be the giver, you know what I mean? And in terms of emotional reception, etc., I have a little issue with that. And I felt like she was just allowing him to take the blame.
And I think that is kind of the nature of their relationship, because he seems to be the most apologetic of the two. Mm-hmm. He's the peacemaker. Mm-hmm. And that might work for them. It might. I don't think it's as drastic of a situation as Katina and Elijah.
No, I definitely don't think so.
Or of our next couple, Mike and Jasmina. Mm-hmm. I don't think I don't think their situation is as deep as Mike and Jasmina.
Well, I mean, we can move on to them because we really didn't have a lot from Lindsay and Mark. We talked about Lindsay's kind of outburst at the restaurant, and they had a nice date. I'm glad.
The big issue with them was the whole thing with the I need to find work. Mm-hmm. Well, where are you going to make time for me? But they seem to have gotten over that.
Right.
Lindsay just was trying to make herself the center of attention again. That's all.
So Jasmina and Michael had a beautiful day together.
They did.
Go ahead.
They had a dope ass day, and I feel like Michael really went through all of this effort to kind of make everything great for her, which I think was a beautiful thing. Things came out, they put the food on the table. Even I'm sitting there looking at the fruits and the mix.
We're like, that look good.
I'm like, yo, that look good. Yeah, the food looked good. The day that he had planned out for it looked good. They did a little dinner, they did dancing and stuff.
Well, I mean, they recreated their wedding day.
Okay.
So that to me was the dope part. Jasmina had said to him on multiple occasions that, the wedding day was really kind of the only just 100% great day that they had. And so he was trying to kind of recapture those feelings. And so they went back to the same venue. They rewrote their vows, now with each other in mind, and he even shared, when we shared our vows the first time, it was,
as strangers.
We did that as strangers, but now I know you, and I care for you. And this is what I'm vowing to you. And, I think both of them had really nice vows. She promised to make him feel heard. She said dead ass promise. And we'll see if she really do, because you know how Jasmina be acting sometimes. So I hope that she really does, help him to feel heard and that he can communicate with her. But they seem to have a really great day, from beginning to end. And I'm glad for them. I hope that Jasmina can come along when it comes to the attraction department, because that's something that she said, she doesn't really feel any attraction for him right now, and she doesn't see herself saying yes on decision day without that. She did say that if they, keep going like they're going, then she thinks that can grow. But look, they got 4 weeks left, and, she said when they were at their anniversary dinner, I kind of feel like the, first month was a waste. And I understand where she was coming from, but I agree with what Michael said is it wasn't a complete waste, because they got to learn a lot about each other that got them to the point of where they are now, which, supposedly is on a much better road. So I hope they actually continue on that road so that they can have the outcome that I hope that they're both hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for big things for them, but I just don't see it. I don't see her actually turning on any type of emotional connection to him.
I don't really see it either.
She hasn't done it yet, and she hasn't really made any effort to do it yet.
Mm-hmm.
She talks a good game in that regard, because I think she knows that she's supposed to talk a good game. I don't think it's malicious at all. I don't think it's Elijah.
I think it's the bottom line is that she's just not into him.
She's not into him, and she's really, she's not. I don't think she's leading him on, but she's trying to.
She's trying to go through the experiment.
Yeah, she's trying to go through the experiment. She'll make her decision later. Mm-hmm. She'll see she'll do the math on it. Mm-hmm. So I really don't think that she's as nefarious or malevolent or whatever as
Elijah
or Alyssa. Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Elijah one is just dragging his out. Alyssa started day 1, episode 1. As soon as you see him, all right, let's start acting a fool.
Yep.
Elijah one playing is a lot smarter. I don't think Jasmina is on that level. I know. We even was like, hey, don't become the new Alyssa. Mm-hmm. Because she has her moments where it's just like, oh, Alyssa, chill. You know what I mean? Or recognize that this brother is trying. Mm-hmm. She did this episode seem to recognize that he was trying, and she vowed to try herself. Mm-hmm. So, giving her the benefit of the doubt, we're going to see, if she can do that. Obviously, for all of the couples, we hope for a happy outcome.
Right.
That doesn't always mean that they're going to stay together.
Honestly, when it comes to Katina and Olajuwon, I'm hoping for a safe outcome. I feel like
safe as in
non-abusive.
Physically? Or
emotionally, whatever.
Mentally?
I mean, it's abuse. He abuses her.
I just wanted to make sure, you want her to stay safe, and we don't know what is what's going through her mind. Mm-hmm. and what's making her want to stay. Mm-hmm. But hopefully she wises up, and maybe this brother can change. I don't know, but it seems like he really just has issues. I think he might just have issues with women.
I feel like the experts really need to be more involved, especially when they see, these signs of, emotional abuse.
But when they get involved, he turns puppy dog.
No, he doesn't, because he didn't do that with Dr. Viviana, and then he decided to change it.
That's what I mean.
When he wasn't getting his way.
That's what I mean. He's like, oh well, I feel like he softened it up.
But my thing is,
he artificially softened it up to kind of appease Dr. Viviana.
It's true. However, she's an expert. She knows what it is. You know what I mean? She know that that's fake. She know that that's not really what it's about. They see the tapes. You know what I mean? And the experts, don't hold these people's feet to the fire to help them be better. And that's what I really feel like this show is really missing, because you all, as quote unquote experts, put these strangers together. And I feel like you have a responsibility to walk with them through this experiment.
But at the same time, if they really kept it 100% real with these people, a lot of these marriages wouldn't be lasting this long.
It's probably true.
You know, like.
But I mean, but even like counseling throughout or whatever, you know what I mean? Couples counseling, whatever, like those types of things.
But
they don't do any of that.
They're not that involved with the show.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that that's right.
They're not that involved with the show. They really just on their own until you got the initial interviews. Probably got a couple of interviews after that during the first episode.
I know all of that.
I know you know that, but I'm just pointing it out. Like, so for the first couple episodes, it seems like they're involved because there's some conversations. But then but you think about the time that we actually even just get on camera with them. You might say, if we get 5 minutes of camera time of the doctors with the couples, you know, that's probably, you know, 1 hour, 2 hours of film time. Mm-hmm. It's 24 hours in a day. And that these people are essentially married to each other. They don't have to be together, just married to each other, thinking about each other and trying to navigate their lives. Those people, those experts are not going to be that involved. They're just not. And if they were that involved, you know, they would actually take give expert opinions. They're not. They're probably not even that involved. Honestly, I think in the matchmaking.
They may not be, but I do feel like they should be receiving like weekly couples counseling, like those types of things.
That would be great.
Because, I mean, it's like you put these people together. Now it's your responsibility to at least help them to navigate this in a healthy way.
I think that would be great. I think that would actually make great TV because we don't see the destructive behavior so frequently. We see destructive behavior pretty much every episode with either Olajuwon or Katina, or, you know, every now and again Steve will fill in and Jasmina will fill in.
Oh,
and Alyssa's every episode. I mean, not Alyssa. Lindsay is every episode. So Lindsay don't hesitate to get destructive on that.
Yeah. So I really hope that Jasmina and Michael can, you know, really find that spark and keep it. You know, it seems like they do have some potential. And, you know, especially when they are, you know, trying to communicate respectfully with one another. So I hope that they, you know, can actually get there. It definitely seemed that Michael is pouring it on. He's really trying.
He's really trying.
And, you know, and honestly, I have to give him props because in the very beginning, I was just like, why they do my girl like that? Why they match her with this guy that's not ready? You know, he's not vulnerable.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, give him a shot.
He has proven that he is trying. And so I really do appreciate that. And, you know, I hope that Jasmina also tries just as hard.
Yeah.
So that's our episode, guys and girls. We hope that you like this episode, subscribe to our channels, drop some comments in there. Let us know what you think about all of this. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.
Peace out.